Now, occasionally people ask me, what is the most basic setup? So the most basic setup for fish is basically a fish and a tank. If you have a tank and you fill it with non-chlorinated water, so that means adding a water ager if need be, the water ager must be added to all tap water because the tap water contains chlorine, and chlorine can often kill your fish. So assuming that you have a tank and you've put non-chlorinated water in the fish tank, in this tank there's a whole range of fish that you could have, and it's all about how many fish you put in there. Providing that you don't overstock it, you could put mountain cloud minnows, you could put zebra danios, you could put fighting fish, you could put even peppered corydoras, potentially sucking catfish and goldfish, but you don't want to put the goldfish with the sucking catfish. Some more that come to mind: golden madakas, cold water rainbow fish, paradise fish. So there are a whole heap of different fish that you can basically just have in a fish tank full of non-chlorinated water. Now, if you want to get more fancy, you could consider an aerator, or even more fancy, you could consider an actual filter. What the filter will do is allow the system to grow more good bacteria, and more bacteria means you can have more fish. Now, the other major variant that you're going to have as well is the quality of your fish food. If you feed very good quality fish food, such as probiotics from New Life Spectrum, it's a much cleaner food, so therefore you're going to have less waste in the fish tank. So the other things you're going to need to consider is topping up the aquarium, and you're also going to need to consider the occasional water change. How often you need to water change is very much governed by how many fish you've got in there. If you have a lot of fish in there, water changes are more important. If you don't have many fish in there, water changes are not very important or less important. So giving your glass a bit of a clean when the algae builds up, giving your gravel a bit of a stir before you water change, or even use a gravel cleaner when you're doing a water change. But the main thing I recommend is that you never buy fish for your aquarium unless you grab your phone, make a bit of a video of what's going on in the aquarium, and video any bits and pieces that you've got for the aquarium. Any water ages or fish foods or anything you've got, make sure they can see all that. And bring a sample of water down to your local PIAA aquarium store, and then they can advise you about what's going on or been going on with the aquarium. So there is very little requirement, especially for temperate water fish. A fish tank is basically all you need. A fish tank, water, and some very basic knowledge. Most of it is don't do anything too much. Don't change too much water, preferably not more than, say, 25%. Don't feed too much. Don't add too many fish. So there are some very basic, simple rules that we recommend you learn. And fish keeping can be very cheap and very easy, but it's very much governed by what you choose. In saying that, there are also fish that have very specific requirements and are quite difficult to keep. So it's a matter of getting the right advice, and you can set up a tank that's basically no harder to look after than a pot plant.